Hello all. This weekend I was going to play some retro games with my niece, and we were going to use this Dell Ultiplex GX1 computer that was perfectly working. We connected everything, we booted it up, and we were doing some partitioning to install the games themselves. And while we were doing that, the F-disk crashed, and we restarted the noise just not working. So it stays like that. One thing I noticed on this computer is that when I booted the BIOS, saw a message informing that the voltage regulator was wrong or something like that. So what I'm going to do today in this video is I'm going to open it, look at the capacitors, their values, because that's the most probably cause, and when I order them and they arrive, I will continue the video replacing them, and hopefully that will repair this previously perfectly working machine. Okay, let's open it so we can see how is the motherboard. Everything is a little dirty here and there, some oxide, nothing very severe. Let's take the riser cap out. Here are the main capacitors. I can see that some of them are like too separated from the motherboard. I don't like the side of this. I think this may be bulging underside the capacitor itself. And let's remove all the cables. Okay, so this is the front panel, power supply, two cables on the power supply. But this on cable. Doesn't want to get out. It's a very big computer, front panel. So I can see there's a screw here. This fell off. This is the detector, the case removal detector. That seems has here some kind of anchorages or something that will hold it up. So let's take this screw out. And see if it moves. I'll take the drive cage out first. Intrusion detection. I can't see any more screws, so I think this should be on. Okay, now it's out. On the power supply itself seems to be held by at least one screw here. Yeah, it's out as well. I'm gonna use some compressed air of camera to clean this up a little because it has too much dirt. So this is the board, the Delot pip legs. I can see on the board that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 capacitors. All of them seem to be of the same value. And I can see here that it's like bulging on the underside, but it's not on the upside. So I think that's the sign of a problem. There's a problem happening or about to happen, and that may be the reason that why it doesn't boot anymore. So because those capacitors are the ones that are regulating the voltage to the CPU, so those are probably the culprit of why it doesn't boot anymore when it was perfectly working before. There's also those two small capacitors from the audio circuitry. I will also replace those two. Because if I'm replacing the capacitors, I may be as well replacing all that may present a problem now or in the future. It's a very nice board. It's integrated, has 3D acceleration, compatible with Windows 98. It's perfectly compatible with DOS, includes some Blaster Pro emulation on the sound chip here. So it's a very nice board. I want to have it working because for retro gaming and so on, it's probably one of the best boards you can get without going too old or too new. That will present some compatibility problems that this board will not have. Also, it should be very easy to replace the power supply or even the motherboard because it was a very common business computer. It's very expandable. It has right now 64 megabytes of RAM. That's more than enough for retro gaming, certainly. But it can be expanded into half a gigabyte, so 512 megabytes. Okay, I have replaced all capacitors. I didn't record myself replacing them because I took this opportunity to teach my niece the function of the capacitors in a power delivery circuit and on an audio filtering circuit. So because she's underage, I couldn't record her, so I just did it with her with a recording, and for the next one I replace capacitors, I will record them so you can see it. Now, as for the power delivery circuitry, so these are all the capacitors from the power delivery. They are 3900 microfarads. I have replaced all of them. So you can see that some of them are bulge completely, while on others you can see they should have like a shape underside. Also, when I tried them with the tester, we see a difference, a complete difference of the rated value to the current value. So I'm gonna take away the motherboard right now. Now, if we check some of the capacitors, so they're rated for 3900 microfarads. So I'm going to put it in millifarads. I'm going to take one of them. So you can see here, rated 3900 microfarads. Now I'm going to connect the negative and then the positive poles here. And you see it's 3100, so far away from where it should be. And about the audio capacitors, they are 22.0, so 220 microfarads. So we can focus on the rating here, yeah, 220 microfarads. So I'm going to put it to source microfarads. Connect the negative here, it doesn't want to connect, and the positive here, 220 microfarads. So the audio capacitors were okay, but I just took the opportunity that I had to replace the new capacitors to replace them with higher quality. So now I'm going to assemble the computer and then try it and see if it works. Assembling this computer is a very easy thing to do, so we just need the main chassis. So here it is. Let's put it some other way here. Okay. Now we get the motherboard. this side back. And it has some. Okay, so now that it's in, we just press back and it's done. Assemble. Okay, now perfectly assembled. Now we put back the memory. And the CPU with the attached fan. So here, and the fan goes connected here. Okay, now let's put the power supply. And the power supply goes like this here. A very small power supply. Connect it here. And here. Now I'm not going to connect any drive or anything, or the expansion riser. I'm just going to plug it in and see if it works, because it has integrated video. I don't need to put any kind of video graphics or card or anything like that. Just let's see if it boots at all. Kind of something that I need to put before trying to make it work. So front panel goes here. Now, okay, so there's the monitor. Input. It doesn't want to change input now. So let's plug it in. Okay, the moment of truth. And it works. So it's repaired. Now it's gonna complain that everything was removed. Still complains about regulator failure. I don't understand why. So it was complaining about that before as well. But it boots now. Didn't boot before. So now that it's working, I really wonder what that regulator error means. I mean, if I don't think it's the inductor or the transistors, maybe. I don't think so. Well, it's working. So now I will put the case to do a retrowrite. So I am in the Canary Islands right now. We are on the tail of the Filomena storm. So supposedly tomorrow may be some rainy. Probably there will be sunlight as well. So this is right now the current color. Not very nice, but I'm pretty sure it will just retrowrite correctly. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to use for the retrowriting. Give me a second. So, hello Anubis, where are you hiding? Say hello, hello. I'm a precious, kissy, kiss. Oh yeah. So what I'm going to use for the retrowrite is this hydrogen peroxide, it's oxidizing cream. So it already comes with the how the name. Well, it's not just only hydrogen peroxide. Developer. It already comes with the developer. I have tried it in a small mouse and it worked quite well for retrowriting. So I'm going to put some of that on the outer case of this Dell. Hopefully in next week I'm going to play with my niece some RetroDOS games. This comes too late for December anyway. So I will show you the results of retrowriting later in the video. Bye. Well, it's been raining all night still. This is the Canary Islands. So there has been some sun. I think there's already an appreciable difference in color. It's not perfect yet, but another day or two with fresh hydrogen peroxide should do the job. Because even if we are supposedly going to have rains today and still parts of the Filomena storm, this is a very sunny place. Well, after a few days on each part, I have already retrobrighted it, and this is the final look. So it looks so much better. It's still missing. I have to put the power button and have it right there. And the floppy drives because I'm going to use Gotek for it, but it's much better. This was a more difficult part. It seems to have different plastic or something. It's still a little more yellowish, but you can really see it. You can really see the difference. This is more like the original color. It's practically exactly the same as the original color. So the repair is finished. Now to enjoy some retro gaming with it.